Hi, I'm the Scrub and you're here for one reason.
Welcome back to the Burn and the Beautiful. Will Yugiri confess her feelings towards Lord Hien? Will Y'shtola get her eyesight back? Will Alisaie go an episode without committing fratricide? Will the Warrior of Light finally speak? All this and more on this episode of the Burn and the Beautiful.
Time to learn about the Burn. Simplified. If you're running with the duty support system, I'd recommend single pulling this dungeon. Walk forward along the path, pick up the pair of mobs and turn left. Run over this narrow path and watch out for the subtle narrow AoEs as you pass over this area. If you're caught in one of these AoEs, a boulder will come down and bonk you on the head. Continue across the narrow path until you get to the group of mobs at the end. The Kukulkan will give you an Assunerable Poison dot tick with its backflip attack. Watch out for the rest of the AoEs, kill everything, and the boulder blocking the path will fall into the ravine. Continue and pull the trio of mobs and the Desmond that falls into the area. Turn left and run across the narrow path. As you progress along this path, another Desmond will fall and need to be picked up. Group up all of the enemies, avoid all the AoEs, and kill everything. There will be another Desmond that will drop down after a bunch of mobs have already been defeated. When everything has been finished off, the boulder will fall and you'll be able to take the path down to the first boss. Hedatet will cast the move Crystal Needle, which is a tank buster. It will jump into the middle of the arena and target a random party member with crosshairs. This player will be targeted with a straight line AoE. This is a very big hit if you get hit by it. To avoid this, you'll need to hide behind a dropped crystal shard in the arena within the line of sight of the boss. The crystals will absorb the impact of the straight line AoE and will cause them to burst in a small AoE. So after you finish hiding behind the crystal, you'll need to move away from it. Then every player will get a small point blank AoE with the cast of Shard Strike. Everyone will need to spread out and make sure that you don't clip the crystals in the arena with the AoE, as if you accidentally do, the crystals will burst. You'll need at least one crystal left standing for what comes next. The Scorpion will cast the move Shard Fall. This is an arena-wide AoE that will radiate from the boss's position. You'll need to be standing behind a crystal in order to dodge the attack. If you aren't standing behind a crystal, it'll be a very hard hit with a Von stack. Right after this attack goes out, the boss will cast Dissonance. This is a big donut AoE with the only safe spot being inside the hitbox of the boss. If you fail to get inside the hitbox, it will give you a Von stack. Small AoEs will then drop more crystal shards from the ceiling. From here, the boss will continue to jump around the arena and repeat mechanics until it has been defeated. Exit out of the arena and follow the path around. Pull the mobs until you get to the wall blocking your path. Avoid as many of the AoEs from the mobs as you can, as there will be a lot that will be thrown out. Also watch out for the Charred Paladin, as it will pull in the tank with the move Electromagnetism. Kill everything and the wall will dissipate. Walk through the cave and pick up all of the Coblins. The largest of the bunch, the Doblin, will cast Shatter, which is a large point blank AoE. Drag the rest of these mobs all the way to the next room where more Paladins, a Dreadnought, and a Drone will be waiting for you. Avoid all of the AoEs as best you can, kill everything, and it's second boss time. As you approach the arena, you'll see that the sides of the arena are already coated in a burning flame. If you walk or are pushed into this, it will give you a burns debuff for as long as you're in the wall. Etherochemical Coil is a tank buster. Etherochemical Flame is a room-wide AoE. One player will be marked with crosshairs. This player will need to move to a far corner of the arena, as they will have a puddle of poison dropped where they are standing. If you walk into this puddle, it will give you the debuffs of Leaden and Sludge for as long as you are in the puddle. The boss will dash away to one side of the arena and become momentarily untargetable. It will return with several smaller versions of itself. One of them will be faulty and have an electric charge coming off it. The rest of them will have a countdown in bars that will be indicated above them. You will need to stand in the faulty drone's path to not be hit by the straight line dashing attacks from the rest of them. If you do stand in the path of a drone that races across the arena, it will knock you into the wall and can one-shot you if you don't have decent gear. A number of buzzsaws will appear on the non-flame sides of the arena and cast Added Driver. These saws will dash across the arena in a straight line AoE. You'll just need to move away from them before the cast ends to avoid them. If you get hit by them, you'll be slightly knocked back. When you get to the second time the boss will race away to a side of the arena, a repurposed Dreadnought will spawn in. Burst it down as quickly as possible. There will also be 3 buzzsaws and the charging drones at the same time. The safe area can be quite small, but if you are with the duty support system, they will always stand in the correct area. From here, mechanics will overlap and repeat until the boss has been defeated. As you follow the path down, you'll see a small amount of sand spurting from the ground. This indicates that there will be a mob that will burst from the ground. Keep this in mind for the next few pulls. Pull the trio of mobs and the mob that bursts out from the ground. Continue up the path to the next 3 worms. The small AoE of Venom Spray from the Gigaworm Stalker will give you an Assunerable Poison dot tick, and its Conal AoE of Toxic Spray will give you an Assunerable Accuracy down debuff if you get hit by them. And the Veiled Gigaworm's Conal AoE attack of Desert Spice will give you an Assunerable Blind debuff if you get hit by it. There will be a lot of AoEs and a lot of status effects thrown around by these mobs in their AoEs, so try to avoid everything as best you can. When everything has been defeated, the snow will cave into itself and reveal the next path. Pull the worms ahead to the next area where a bunch of mobs will burst from the ground. These are the same mobs from the previous pull. Group up everything as best you can and try to avoid all the AoEs. Tanks, don't be afraid to use your invuln if you're doing this pull. Kill everything, the snow will cave in, and it's final boss time. Rime Wreath is a room-wide AoE. Players will be targeted with a blue marker above their head. If it is a non-tank player, the marker will be a blue circle. This will be a series of small circular lingering AoEs from the boss in a straight line through where the player was standing. If it is a tank player, it will be a different, lighter blue marker. This will be an unavoidable cleaving conal AoE Breath of Ice that will linger with a small set set of circular ice puddles after the move has gone off. It will not only give the affected player an Assunerable Frostbite dot tick, but if you walk through the lingering ice puddles, it will affect you with an additional Unassunerable Frostbite dot tick for as long as you are in the puddle. Fog Plume will appear as a star AoE somewhere in the arena. This will create 8 narrow straight line AoEs from this position that will shoot out towards the cardinal and intercardinal directions. You'll have to try your best to dodge between these AoEs. If you get hit by them, you'll be given a Vuln stack and encased in a boulder of ice for several seconds. The boulder can also be targeted and destroyed with one hit. Eventually, the dragon will move to the middle of the room and cast Vaporize. The dragon will become untargetable for a moment, and 3 dragon heads will come down and tether to the dragon. There will be an expanding AoE underneath the dragon that will continue to grow until the heads have been destroyed. You also can't attack the dragon until the move of Cold Fog has finished and the dragon is back in its pure form. Otherwise, the damage will ricochet back to you and encase you in a boulder for several seconds. If you are in the Cold Fog AoE when it goes off, you'll get a Vuln stack and be encased in a boulder. Fog Plume will then be cast on 2 spots in the arena instead of 1. Try to avoid the AoEs from both stars as best you can. The Mist Dragon will then cast Deep Fog and disappear while coating the arena in a thick fog and giving everyone a Dropsy dot tick. Players will have to move around the outside of the arena and look for where the Mist Dragon is hovering. You'll know when you get close to it when its straight line AoE begins to glow in front of you. It will perform a straight line AoE through the middle of the arena, and anyone it hits will give them a Vuln stack and encase them in an ice boulder. If I find the dragon, I normally jump up and down to let players know where I am standing is at least safe. The Mist Dragon will dash across the arena from a different point in the arena again. After the second dash, it will create a proximity marker from the middle of the room. Get away from the center of the arena to reduce the overall damage to you. The Mist Dragon will return to the arena, and from here, mechanics will begin to repeat until it has been defeated. Congratulations, you have beaten the burn. My name is The Scrub. Thank you for watching.